Backup quarterbacks. The Cowboys got to evaluate that one properly. All right, so let's dive into the details of Cooper Rush. He's injured. His shoulder situation is not there. He didn't practice for the last few days because of the shoulder. Cowboys better be careful with this. You can't play coy with the backup quarterbacks. We know that it probably just be Garrett Gilbert anyhow. But you still got to do the proper evaluation for it, because if not, you will fool around and find yourself in a trap. You got to properly evaluate your backup quarterback. Not saying that the Cowboys are not. However, we've seen what we seen out of Cooper Rush already. I believe that the Cowboys need to evaluate this process a little bit better and bring in a different type of talent, whether it's picking up the phone, calling Phillip Rivers, or when that 75-man roster come out, when they cut down to that, maybe a team get rid of a guy that you very, 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 very liked in the draft or had your high hopes on. Maybe you have to bring them in. But do not sleep on those quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying. Now, I had a caller to call into the show, and he lamented that give Ben DiNucci first-team reps. Now, the craziest thing about quarterbacks in general, you will have an advocate out there, especially on the defensive side of the coin. They will be saying, hey, man, it's hard. It's hard to catch a ball on when DiNucci is throwing this ball. It's hard to catch it. It's hard to jump routes because he's been carving us up. You would at least hear that from some of his contemporaries. And vice versa, you would hear from the wide receivers. There will be somebody saying, hey, DiNucci got a good touch on the ball. I love the way the release is, his hands, and I like the way he's right there with it. See, he don't have any advocates for him. So I'm not saying that DiNucci would never get to that point, but right now he's not at that point. This is his second year. So we'll find out down the line. But the Cowboys, collectively speaking, need to figure out that backup quarterback situation. Unless, Cowboy Nation, you guys are okay with Garrett Gilbert. Maybe it was just the jelly bellies and him overthinking himself when he got into the red zone opportunities last preseason game. Now in practice, we're talking about practice, he looked pretty sharp on some of his throws. Shout out to the wide receivers. We got a chance and opportunity to see Michael Gallup catch a fade ball, which drop back, toss that thing in the air. Let Michael Gallup do Michael Gallup things. He can go up there and climb the ladder and bring it down. And we saw also CeeDee Lamb doing his thing out there. So shout out to Garrett Gilbert for giving him the ball, and as well as number 17. Now, Malik Turner, by the way, he got to hold on to the ball, although he running routes pretty good, but he got to hold on to the ball. Let's see if he bounced back against the Cards. Arizona Cardinals defense should be pretty good, especially if he get any first-team reps and the Cardinals got their first-team guys out there. This should be a good situation for him. Doggone good situation for him. Now, let's flip over and talk a little bit about this defense, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to Osa. Shout out to Osa, man. And shout out to Diggs. Shout out to Nashawn Wright. Shout out to Bossman Fat. Shout out to Parson and Jabril Cox. All of those boys, when I'm speaking right now, those are the guys for the future. They are. And DeMonte KZ, may he continue to fight and play with that intensity. Oh, excuse me, Cowboy Nation. I forgot a player. Maurice Canady. He's hungry. We need dogs out there that's hungry with sharp teeth that can bite. And that is what we're getting a little bit from those guys, hearing all of that good stuff. And I still left out Randy Gregory. This defense, I believe this defense got something to prove. At the end of the day, this defense got something to prove. And I know the naysayers will say, well, Law, they didn't really do this. They didn't really do that. I've seen somebody post it and said, well, Law, they was really moving the ball at will on their first team defense until the fumble happened. What you think pressure do? Bust pipes. Make you think extra long. It makes you not execute well. I would take a fumble any shape, form, or fashion. I would take an interception in any shape, form, or fashion. Now, we are still talking about preseason and practice. So we'll see what this defense look like down the line. I'm looking at this situation, Cowboy Nation, that Dan Quinn, even though he's up there in the box, he's looking down, he can see the formation, he can see, okay, this guy need to be in an assignment a little bit better. I think, hear me out, Cowboy Nation, I think that they changed some of the rulings as it relates to how long you can talk to the guy with the green dot on the back of the helmet. So it might be to Dan Quinn's profit or benefit to talk to the linebacker or the safety a little longer and get a bird's eye view by sitting way up top. Now, the difference is between him and Mike Nolan is that Dan Quinn all through the week is in their ears. Physically, hands-on type of coach, all in their faces, saying, okay, you got to get this better. No, you got to cut and squeeze down inside a little bit quicker. You got to keep your pad levels low. All of that stuff goes not a short way, but that goes a long way. And it's a good feeling to know that you got a guy that carries that type of mindset, fortitude of thoughts. So shout out to Dan Quinn. Now, when you can see players elevating from one level to the next, when you can identify a Maurice Canady that's stepping up, showing out, not just in practice, but also when you see it against other teams, even in the preseason game / the practice joint that we just witnessed, that's something special to me. Maybe not to you guys, but to me, that's something special. I love it. Now, I'm not trying to beat him up. I'm not. And he might just make this team. His name is Anthony Brown. He might just make this team. Oh, I'm sorry. He will make this team. This is what the Cowboys do in that situation. I don't think that would be a surprise cut or one of those, hey, can't believe the Cowboys cut him. Anthony Brown. We've been hearing, seeing, watching, reviewing this story for a long time now. Had a caller to call in to the show, and he said, hey, this is the Orlando Scandrick all over again. A guy that get used and abused, a guy that always seemed to make a play at the right time. But no, it's normally he make a play at the wrong time. And you sit there and say, what do you mean when you say that? Well, just look at Orlando Scandrick's career with Dallas Cowboys. When you needed him the most, he just folds up. But every now and then when the team is down, you look around and you see, oh, an interception, oh, a fumble recovery. That is what you got, ladies and gentlemen, out of Anthony Brown. He will make some splash plays here and there, but 9 times out of 10 is allegory. Cowboy Nation, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that watched it all the way up to this point. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, subscribe for more Cowboys content. Also, let's continue to grind and shine, Cowboy Nation. And remember, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, You're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Find that backup quarterback, by the way. Unless you want to go all in. As Garrett Gilbert, your backup quarterback. That's your guy. That's your man. DC for life. Let's figure this out. Let's go.